Alfredo Trevion was born in 1931 in Mendez, Tamaulipas, Mexico, into a family that valued discipline, education, and ambition. He was the second of 5 children, raised by a strict father who demanded excellence and a mother who nurtured his curiosity. From a young age, Alfredo exhibited an intense fascination with the human body, devoting hours to reading anatomy books and studying the mechanics of life. His intellect and precision became his defining traits, and by the late 1950s, he had established a medical practice in Monterrey. He was respected by patients and colleagues alike for his calm demeanor and surgical skill. Yet beneath the professional exterior, a darker temperament simmered. Trevion formed a clandestine relationship with Jesus Castillo Rangel, a young man connected to the medical world. Their relationship, described by acquaintances as passionate but volatile, became strained over personal tensions, possibly fueled by jealousy, financial disagreements, and societal pressures. On October 8, 1959, this volatile relationship reached a tragic climax. Trevion invited Castillo to his home under the guise of discussion. Neighbors later recounted hearing shouting and the crash of furniture. One witness said, "It sounded like someone was struggling, but I never imagined what happened next." Inside the house, Trevion attacked Castillo. Accounts from police reports indicate he first subdued him using a sedative and chloroform. Then, in a display of horrifying surgical precision, he slit Castillo's throat and drained his blood. Using his knowledge of anatomy, he dismembered the body, separating joints and bones with meticulous accuracy. The remains were packed into a box and buried on a rural ranch near Monterrey. The crime was discovered shortly after, when a relative of Trevino's driver noticed him acting suspiciously near the ranch. Authorities were called, and the box containing Castillo's body was unearthed. Investigators were stunned by the precision of the dismemberment. Detective Hector Salazar, one of the first on the scene, later told journalists, "I have seen many crimes, but this was clinical. Every cut was intentional, deliberate. Only someone with medical training could have done it like this." The case captured the attention of the press immediately. Newspapers splashed the story across headlines, dubbing Trevion El Medico Asesino, the killer doctor. Journalists highlighted the contrast between his public image as a respected physician and the cold-blooded murder he had committed. Families in Monterrey whispered about him with a mixture of fear and morbid fascination. During the trial in 1961, Trevino's composure unnerved both prosecutors and the public. The prosecution portrayed him as calculating and methodical, suggesting that the murder was not a crime of passion, but a deliberate act executed with surgical expertise. The defense argued it had been provoked by personal conflicts. Trevion himself remained calm, speaking with quiet precision. When asked why he had killed Castillo, he replied, "He betrayed me. I lost control and the situation escalated beyond reason." The victim's family expressed shock and grief. One of Castillo's cousins later told a journalist, "He destroyed our family. He may have been a doctor, but what he did to Jesus is unforgivable." No skill can justify that. Public reaction was intense. Monterrey residents filled the streets outside the courthouse, some demanding the ultimate punishment. Trevion was sentenced to death by firing squad, becoming the last person in Mexico to receive such a sentence before capital punishment was abolished. However, his sentence was commuted to 20 years in prison. While incarcerated at Topo Chico Penitentiary, he continued to practice medicine. He treated inmates and some townspeople, earning a reputation for precision and calmness. Guards and prisoners alike noted the juxtaposition, a man capable of great violence who could also heal with equal care. One warden recalled, as a surgeon he could package his victim in a surprisingly small box. As a doctor he could save lives with the same hands. It was during his prison years that American author Thomas Harris encountered stories of Trevion. Harris observed his demeanor, soft-spoken, intelligent, and unnervingly composed, and later admitted that aspects of Trevino's personality inspired the creation of Hannibal Lecter. Harris wrote that the doctor-killer represented a chilling combination of charm, intellect, and detachment that would become central to his fictional character. After his release in 1981, Trevion returned to Monterrey. He resumed practicing medicine quietly, often treating the poor and elderly. Neighbors remembered him as polite and professional, yet always carrying the shadow of his past. In interviews late in life, he reflected on the weight of his crime, stating, "The past is heavy. I do not want to relive it. I try to help people now, but some days the memory comes back." Alfredo Trevion died in 2009, leaving behind a story that remains one of Mexico's most disturbing and fascinating criminal cases. His life embodied a paradox: a man of intelligence, skill, and composure who committed a horrific act, yet sought redemption in quiet service after imprisonment. He became an enduring figure in the conversation about the nature of evil, the complexity of human behavior, and the blurred line between brilliance and monstrosity. Even today, discussions about Bali divide opinion. Was he a man who lost control in a moment of passion, or a calculating killer who hid behind the mask of a healer? The truth is unsettling. Evil does not always wear a mask. Sometimes it wears a white coat, smiles politely, and waits quietly to strike.